another episode of the Cigar Lounge. My name is Aaron Paoletta, and I am joined with my co-host John Hunter. And today we have what is, in my opinion, a badass cigar with a badass label made for badasses who show badassery. I can't say it any other way.
I am excited about smoking this cigar.
I've had this one numerous times. Matter of fact, I had an entire box of these in one of my humidors. This was described to me. We jump in the gun there a little bit, man.
I'm ready to light this thing up.
This was described to me when I first went to buy this, that this cigar was made for military personnel.
It looks like
well,
it.
you can't go wrong with that. I mean, what is that? The Green Beret with a dagger through his skull? I mean,
yeah.
I'd say it was made for that. But this thing has it's surprisingly a light chocolate brown color for the wrapper, but it's an Ecuadorian Habano wrapper. There's like a little bit of oil, and it's not a whole hell of a lot. It's like someone took a can of like Pam spray and just went.
Yeah. It is quite smooth. It's not real lumpy. It's a very good, well-made cigar.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really see too many veins in it, which sometimes, we've had some cigars, and we're going to have plenty coming up that you see nothing but veins. That's like eating the hard part of a lettuce leaf in your salad.
Yeah.
Like I want the green, man. That's what this is. This is perfect. This also has Nicaraguan binders, Nicaraguan longleaf tobacco in it, which for those of you who don't know the difference between a longleaf and short, the longleaf is tobacco that goes the full length of the cigar. Okay, so this one I think is a little over 5.5 inches or something like that. So the tobacco is actually spanning the entire length of this thing. Where you get short fillers, which is really just ground up leftover tobaccos that just get thrown in. Now, the long leaf, it's a little bit of a harder draw, but it is complete leaves of tobaccos, and you see that more in the better made cigars, where the short filler, it's more looked at as like seconds or throwaways, which they're not actually seconds or throwaways. They're still good cigars. It's just the leftover crap that most of these companies don't want. Now cut your cigar.
Well, thank you, bud. Oh, look at that. I'm trying to get
already ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Let me get a little bit more of that. Yeah.
Dude, this smells like a cow pasture. Barnyard.
I don't get that. That smells like a vegetation.
Vegetation. Cow shit.
Well, I smell like greenery.
Hey, yours is a little darker than mine.
Yeah?
I must be newer than yours. The hell with it. I'm lighting it anyway, I don't care. Got my Pink Ranger saber here.
There you go, Mr. Power Ranger.
You goddamn right. Ooh. A little bit of pepper in that one. Wow. That pepper did not hit me like that in my last batch. I got that right in the back of the tongue.
I've only had one of these before. And
I still don't have the money for that.
One day, maybe.
Yeah. There's some dirt. Earth.
Yeah.
Dirt.
But it's not
unpleasant though.
No, but it's not like the dirt that you would think, like you just picked up dirt and
it's
ate.
not mud.
Yeah.
It's not mud. It's dirt. A little bit of a nuttiness to it. It's not too shabby. A little inconsistent on that burn rate. The draw is impeccable though.
Yeah.
For something that has long filler in it, that draw is incredibly smooth.
Well, Gurkha's been around since, I think...
oh, that's right. This is made by Gurkha.
Yeah, these are Gurkha cigars. This is more of a No, it was like an everyday cigar for the average person.
Oh, like a table wine.
Yeah,
Anybody can drink it.
yeah.
Gurkha, that's not something we have. No, we do have a Gurkha coming up later in the season, don't we?
Yeah.
What is that?
The white.
Oh, I think it's episode maybe 18 or 19. It's the Red Witch.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Gurkha Red Witch,
Yep.
which is not as bold as this thing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, Gurkha was made famous by their small batches, and they give out small batches for their lines. They're very small quantities, and that's where they're made most famous for their cigars.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Did not know that. You learned something new.
Because they don't have big quantities. They do small, limited batches where you can only get so many that they made for that type of flavor wrapper or that certain person. You should see their lounge. It's
The
like
tits?
yeah, it's like through a hidden door, and
Nice.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty
see, I
crazy.
like companies like that. That's like eating at a privately owned restaurant, like by one of the master chefs or something, like we had out in Vegas. And you go in there, and there's a tasting menu for the night. Now, this tasting menu, that let's say they only made 70 orders of it, you don't make it there in the first 70 reservations. You snooze, you lose, man. That's it. They're done. So I do appreciate that, because
Yeah.
once they make a batch, they're done.
Mhm.
I could go along with that. Yeah, that spice. I did not have that kind of spice last time. Pretty solid looking ash there too.
Yeah. The last one didn't burn like this. This is actually surprising me.
So yeah, look at. I mean, I got the same thing going
Yeah.
on there. I have an uneven burn. That's really interesting.
Mhm.
My last one had a solid burn the entire way through.
Mine had a little bit of a wave in it, but not.
Oh, yeah, that's
This is a
really
landslide. Like
that's very noticeable.
yeah,
That thing almost cuts down in.
yeah, and it does pretty good here.
I mean, all things considered, so far, this is actually a little bit different than the last one that I had. And you know what? I'm glad, because the last one I had was a Churchill, was a torpedo. They were aged a little longer, so it had a completely different flavor. So I'm smoking the same brand here, but the flavor profile is just slightly different, just like enough to go, ooh, that's new.
Yeah,
Not disappointing new, just different, because I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting to get on this episode and know what the hell I was talking about. That ain't happening here.
every cigar is different, and you could have two out of the same box and still pull out something different one out of the other.
We already proved that with the Exodus.
Yeah,
Ours came out of the same box, but they burn completely different. Well, so far I'm pretty impressed, and that's got a hell of a nice little ash build up there. I'm about an inch into that. But so far, like a slight little recap here, into the first third, you got some earthy, some dirt, as I'll call it. It's not mud, it's not thick and gooey, but it is dirt. Some nuttiness, and that spice, that undertone of like a red pepper is still there.
yeah.
So I'm not too upset with it.
It's very subtle in the throat, the pepper, and it's good. It's not a bad pepper. It's
Right.
definitely.
Well, we're gonna take a short little break here, and when we come back, we're gonna climb into the second third, because by the time we come back, we will be in the second third, and we'll get into some 2020s, 2021s, and we'll continue on with the show from there. We'll see you back here in a few.
The Cigar Lounge is sponsored in part by Rockstar Divisions. Get yourself the Rockstar treatment today. We offer lawn care, landscaping, tree services, and leaf removal. Whether it's spring, summer, or fall, we have the services for you. Give us a call today, 724-605-5135, and get the Rockstar treatment that you deserve. La Vega Cigar Company by Aaron Paoletta, brought to you today by Wurby Films. Get your La Vega cigar today. Choose from the Il Primo or the Il Segundo, sold exclusively by Wurby Films and the Cigar Lounge Cigar Show.
Weege Photography believes in all your adventures. From graduating seniors to capturing the magic of your wedding day, to corporate events and restaurant openings, and everything in between, Weege Works Photography is here to tell your story. Photographer Alexa Paoletta believes in a simple approach, that no vision, dream, or memory to be made magic should ever be out of reach. For more information, visit weegeworks.com.
Welcome back, guys. We are with the Gurkha Black Ops. I'm actually rolling into my second third on this, and as we started to talk about in the well, before we went to break, that pepper was there, dude. That pepper is intense.
Yeah.
In this thing, as I'm rolling into this second third, like it hasn't went away, and that's actually kind of shocking. What you gotta?
I gotta fix it. I mean, this is a freaking mountain over here.
That before you fix that, actually show that, because that's nuts. How that burn rate is just so uneven. Dude, that's crazy. I mean, I've had some that have done that before, but I mean, nothing like that. That was nuts.
I mean, the last cigar I smoked didn't do this at all. It was a little wavy, but it wasn't no mountain, that's for sure.
Well, mine's not too bad. I mean, it's kind of wavy around, but for the most part, it's...
Yeah, that's about how my other one went.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Since I'm in the second third, I'll just say this: the pepper has not went away. Okay, that nuttiness, that earthiness, or the dirt that I said before, the dirt, it's still there. It's in the primary position. It's not unsavory. It is actually quite tasty. But there's something new coming in there. It's almost like a yeast, like a
bread.
Bread, oats, maybe.
Yeah, like a bready oats kind of.
Not chalky.
No, it's
not like dry oats, but it's got that kind of yeast to it. It's interesting. It's not like the last.
By far,
20.
This is not a dry cigar by no means. It's very. I can enjoy this once a week.
And this is bold. Of all the shit, how many? We got 24 episodes in this season. Of all 24 the cigars that we're bringing on to this first season, this is probably the thickest one we're going to come across, or very close to it. I don't know if we have. Do we have another? I don't think we have another one that's actually thicker than this. Maybe as thick.
What about that at the Argentina?
Argentum. No, that's not as thick as this one. This one's pretty bold, man. This thing packs a punch. Like I can feel it sitting on the back of my tongue right now.
Yeah, I can feel it in my glands a little bit. But this is a good cigar. I'm happy with this. I'd definitely buy it again.
Well, I actually did keep 20 of these. I had a box of these in my humidor. I just haven't replenished them. I am a fan of these. I will say that. Now, they're not in my big humidor. They're not my main humidor. But I did keep them. They were pretty good. Why don't you tell them a little bit about... We're discussing about Gurkha during the break there. Why don't you actually tell them about that?
Kazad. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this guy's last name.
No, because he screwed up. What was it?
I don't even want to go there.
I can't remember what name it was last episode he screwed up.
But Kazad, his family was watchmakers and that. Well, he was on vacation and... God, where he was at is running past my mind. But anyway, he come across this guy hand rolling cigars, and he was so fascinated by the art of it. He bought all of his tobacco and everything and all of his inventory for a whopping $149.
149 US?
I don't know. I can't say from where the research said. I think it's 149 US. But he bought it just for basically to give gifts to his family and that. He gave a box to his friend that had, I just asked you what the hell that kind of shop was. What the hell was it? A duty-free shop. Anyway, the guy couldn't get enough of them. And he started from there. $149, and Gurkha's known around the world. I think they're in 7 countries. Don't quote me. I think they're in 7 different countries.
Well, definitely in this one. They make pretty decent cigars, as far as I'm concerned.
I am surprised though that the Gurkha name isn't actually on the cigar, but Gurkha does make these.
Actually, I had to look that up before we came here tonight. I had to look up who made this because I just knew it as Black Ops. I had no clue that it was done by Gurkha. But see, that's going to drive me nuts. The burn rate on this thing. I got OCD bad, so that really.
So that would bother you, huh?
Dude, yours is still doing it. That is crazy.
Look, if I wouldn't have tried to correct it, it probably would have burnt the slant the whole way down like it was supposed to do that. I mean, it's got a good pencil tip. It's burning good. It's just not keeping straight.
It's a great draw because I'm pretty good into my second third right now. Great draw, solid burn, but wonky burn line. That's one of the weirdest I think I've actually come across. This is actually a decent, well-made stick. I mean, it's kind of inconsistent a little bit.
Yeah.
Because now that I'm into my second third, that spice kind of deteriorated a little bit, but then it came back, and it came back like I first lit the thing. It just chokes you. So it's a little inconsistent. But I mean, I don't hate it. I'm actually quite pleased with this thing.
Yeah, getting into that second third is like for a second there that peppery kind of just disappears for a second, for a puff or two, and it's coming back. I can't believe how this thing is burning, and it's like kind of choppy.
You got a whole episode about the bad burn on it.
Yeah, I mean,
but you know what? That needs to be said though, because I don't know what's causing yours to do that, but I would tell Gurkha, if you actually watch this, pay attention to that, because that right there is very annoying.
Yeah.
I could really screw up a cigar doing that. You got any other information on Gurkha?
Like I said, his family was Indian descent, and he was, he was in India where he bought this, and it was some Portuguese guy rolling these cigars in India. And that's why he was so sound about it. It was way off. You know what I mean? In India, you find a Portuguese guy rolling cigars. And that's basically how the company started. Bought it because he wanted it as a timepiece to share. Because
Gurkha's just not one of them brands that you hear too often. They're not the Fuentes and the Padrones, which actually I'm going to say this now versus saying this later on. Fuentes Monarch. Carlos Fuente Sr. passed away, and Padrone's Monarch passed away. I think they were like a year and a half apart from each other. They are actually, this year, they're coming out. I don't know when it's supposed to come out yet, but they're actually making a cigar for each other. They're teaming up to make a cigar for each other. And you're talking about two of the biggest well-known names in the cigar industry.
Yeah.
Padrone and Fuente, that are making one for each other's father who passed away. I thought that was actually quite amazing.
Yeah.
And before we take our next break, I always bring up my book here. I want to pull up another one that I had. Because what was last week? It was the Purple Rain, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last week was the Purple Rain. Let me pull up one real quick here. Speaking of Padrone, there's Padrone. I had a Padrone 50th anniversary, making me salivate just thinking about this. It took me and Mr. K, don't burn myself, took me and Mr. K about 2.5, I even wrote that down, 2.5 hours to suck this thing down. Well, but
what size cigar was it? Do you remember?
Big. Big. It was a big old Churchill. I'd say maybe 8 inches long, something like that. I can't remember the gauge on it, but absolutely phenomenal cigar. They're about $40 a piece. I gave it a 96. I can't remember what Cigar Aficionado gave it, but I felt it was worth talking about since I was mentioning the Fuente and Padrone doing that for each other. Before we get into this break, I do want to mention one more thing about Gurkha. We're going to post some information at the end of this episode about Gurkha, because I think Gurkha is underrated, and I don't think, at least for me, they're not as well known as some of these other companies. So I do want to throw a little bit more information. Matter of fact, Weege, you want to write that down so we can put that in there. But more when we come back. We are now going to be getting into the final third, as well as our 2020s, just in case you missed them, our 2021 releases, and then we'll be wrapping up this cigar and heading home for the night. So we'll see you guys back here in a few.
The Cigar Lounge is sponsored in part by Rockstar Divisions. Get yourself the Rockstar treatment today. We offer lawn care, landscaping, tree services, and leaf removal. Whether it's spring, summer, or fall, we have the services for you. Give us a call today, 724-605-8255. 5135 and get the rockstar treatment that you deserve. La Vega Cigar Company by Aaron Paoletta, brought to you today by Wurby Films. Get your La Vega cigar today. Choose from the Il Primo or the Il Segundo, sold exclusively by Wurby Films and the Cigar Lounge Cigar Show.
Weege Photography believes in all your adventures. From graduating seniors to capturing the magic of your wedding day, to corporate events and restaurant openings, and everything in between. Weege Photography is here to tell your story. Photographer Alexa Paoletta believes in a simple approach, that no vision, dream, or memory to be made magic should ever be out of reach. For more information, visit weegeworks.com.
Welcome back, guys. I'm almost into my final third. I can't speak for Captain Slow.
I want to enjoy my cigar. You know, I like to taste it and enjoy it.
Yeah, and salivate all over it. And
Yeah.
yeah. Well, and Captain Slow is not mine. I'm actually a huge fan of it was Top Gear, BBC. It was with Jeremy Clarkson, James May, and Richard Hammond. They ended up going to the Grand Tour, but they called James May Captain Slow. And that's where I got that from. That's not mine. I stole that. But now that I'm into my final third, I'm going to tell you right now, everything is still the same. I think this has been a pretty good single profile. Aside from the burn, nothing. I didn't have any problems with mine, except for that spice really, like slamming me in the back of the throat because it's there.
The last one I had did not burn like this, and I'm not gonna turn it away because of this. I mean, it's got that even slide on mine, but
no. And if we're talking about the last one I had was a torpedo. It was a 7 inches long, I think 7.5 inches long. And mine, actually, the wrapper came apart on it. That was the very last one that I spoke. But aside from that, the only thing aside from the burn that I really can't stand about is just a little inconsistent. The flavor profiles have just been inconsistent. It's driving me crazy. It is what it is, though. It's a great tasting cigar. I've had them in my humidor. I more than likely will stock them back up in my humidor again. But let's get into the 2020s, just in case you missed them. And we're going to put these 2020s in every single episode because there's a lot of cigars that are released and it's hard to keep up with all of them.
All right. Aldino Cameroon.
Wow, I think he might have got that right.
Oh, yeah, maybe. We'll see. They come out with, I got 4 of them here. They all come out, of course, 2020, 5/14.
It's May.
Yeah, May. Think about it. Yeah, I'm all about numbers, you know. 3 of them came out on the 14th of May. And 7, May, June, August. Yeah, August. It doesn't have
August
a day.
is 8, you fool.
Oh, well, fuck, I ain't actually thinking about it, damn it. I'm trying to read and think of numbers too. Shit.
Numbers, huh?
Yeah. But they have one size, a Ruspito, and a Super Turo, and a vintage selection. So they came out with a new line. All 4 of them are all new. They're already released. You can check them out. Have you tried any of them?
The Aladino Cameroon I've tried.
Yeah.
Good cigar. I was actually
they're
quite a fan.
all but the Aladino
I had the Robusto.
Okay.
That's just a different size.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into the 2021s here. I already mentioned it. It's on my paper. I just couldn't wait till now to say it. Arturo Fuente for Padron. It's going to be a Churchill. It's coming from the Dominican Republic. It's a brand new line. I ashed on myself. There's no set time for this yet. Stop ashing on me. Fuente also has a PCA 2021 exclusive. The country of origin is undisclosed at this time. The factory is also undisclosed, but it's also going to be a new line, and there is no release date as of now that we're reading these off. Let's see here. The CLE PCA 2021 exclusive is also coming out. New line, don't have a release date on it. And the Bolivar, they're doing they're doing a limited edition, and that one's actually coming from Cuba. So Cuban tobaccos, I can dig that. I'll take some Cuban tobaccos, although it's still, I don't believe we can get any true Cubans here in the States. Actually, whenever the COVID nonsense goes away, you can go up to Canada. I believe in Toronto is where another friend of mine buys his Cubans.
Yeah.
Unless you're down in Miami and you know somebody who decided to take a swim, then you get some real Cubans. But if you ever had a real Cuban before, there's a difference between a real Cuban and a fake Cuban.
I've had one Cuban cigar on my wedding day of all days, and my cousin's fiance was stationed down in Cuba and sent me one up for my wedding.
And it was good, wasn't it? And what's the word we use here?
Scrumptious.
It was scrumptious. I've actually had a real Cuban myself.
They don't smoke like other cigars.
No. No, you know when you have a real Cuban.
Yeah.
You could do a blind taste test with that. You could light one up and then puff on this one. You're like, yep, that's the real one.
Yep.
You just know. But that's that's all we got for this show. Solid profile the whole way through. Burn rate was pretty good. Burn line sucked. Draw was amazing.
Good cigar.
It's just an all around good cigar.
At least give it a try. You know, I think if you like this is a Robusto kind of bold.
This is a very bold.
Yeah,
this would
bold.
be the difference would be like the Exodus that we had last week or last episode. That would be like a nice cup of coffee. This is more like I just drank a shot of espresso.
Yeah.
So if you're not into the bold cigars, stay the hell away from this one because it is bold.
Yeah.
And it will knock you on your ass real quick. But that's all we have in this episode. We'll see you next episode. We have coming up Black Market. Alec Bradley Black Market, which was an interesting smoke as well. And I am a huge fan of Alec Bradley, but that one on the next episode. But here's to good smoking. We'll see you guys later.